Hi, everybody. This is Stephen, also known as KnitFen on Instagram and Ravelry. And welcome to my very first podcast or vlog, I guess it is. Um, this is just going to be a quick introduction to what will hopefully be an ongoing series of videos. Um, and I'm doing this because I have spent a lot of time in the last, year and a half, I suppose, watching other people's podcasts and vlogs and videos and really, really enjoying them, really learning a lot about knitting, the craft world, the fiber arts world, all of it, and really gained a lot from watching those. And I asked myself, could I do that? And then wondered, well, should I do that? Should I make a video series? What would I offer? What's the reason? What do I have to give that nobody else has given? Because there are very many, and they're all very excellent. But I thought, adding my voice to the chorus can't hurt anything, can it? There's no loss by having more and more people share what they're making and share what they're doing. And then it occurred to me that just generally we could probably deal with a little bit more of that in the world. Creators who are sharing the things that they create and talking about why it's meaningful to them, why we do it, why we love it, and the stories that go along with all of that. I think those are valuable to keep track of and to share with future generations. So having a video record of that is an easy way to do it. Obviously, the pieces exist throughout time, but hearing the process of creation is really, really inspiring, I think. I've been inspired by listening to other people, and I hope that maybe, just maybe, I might be able to inspire somebody who stumbles upon my channel. So we'll start this, see how far it goes. Who knows? Maybe one or two videos, that's it. I don't know what the future holds, but I figured, what the heck? Why not? YOLO, right? As the kids say. So, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Like I said, this is going to be a quick introductory video. I'm not going to talk about any particular pieces this time around. I'll just tell you a little bit about who I am and my knitting origin story. So, a moment ago I said, as the kids say, I say that a lot because I work with kids. I'm a teacher. I teach English and theater at a high school in New York, which is just over the way there. I don't know if you can see it. The light's kind of blaring. Oh, it's coming into focus. There it is. There's beautiful Manhattan. I wanted to have that in the background, by the way, but I could not get my face and the city at the same time. It was one or the other. So I opted for my face. But anyway, I teach at a high school. I even run the Fiber Arts Club there with another teacher. We have a few knitters and crocheters that come every week. I do the drama club, things of that nature. I've done this for a very long time, and actually my teaching is connected to my knitting origin, because in 2006, in my third year of teaching, I had an accident. A student ended up breaking my hand, my left hand here. There's a big scar. I don't know if you can see that, but you can probably see that there's also a bandage on my face right now because, well, there's a cut. There's a story there too, but that's a story for another day. I thought to myself, should I just wait and do this until this is healed? But then I thought, nah, school starts soon and I'm not going to have as much time. So just have to have a bandage on. Oh well. But anyway, the student broke my hand. It was an accident. I was not attacked. It was not intentional. And it's not something that I really like to talk about generally, because even to talk about it today leaves a lot of bad feelings in me, and I just don't like to go there. And I should say, not bad feelings about the student, bad feelings about the multiple systems that failed me. How's that for intrigue? But I'll leave that there. One of the failures was I had multiple surgeries and needed physical therapy and couldn't get it. And so I was bitter, I was angry, and I went back home to Cincinnati, which is where I'm from originally. And I have a friend there who was always knitting. And I watched her do it. My hand had basically healed, but I just needed to regain function. I said, you know what? Maybe that'll help me. Maybe you can squeeze the yarn and, work the muscles in a new way. And if nothing else, learning a new habit will, or a new skill, will helped me mentally. And so I was thinking then, and I'm reminded of it now too, that one of my very favorite books is The Once and Future King by T.H. White. If you haven't read it, you should. It's an Arthurian tale, and I love Arthurian legend. And in this modern take, King Arthur is a boy. He's under the tutelage of Merlin, and he's sad about something. I don't remember what he's sad about. But Merlin says to him, well, you know, when you're sad, there's only one thing that can cure your sadness. He says, what is that? He says, to learn something. Learning something takes your mind off of your sadness, and suddenly you're not thinking about it anymore. And I've always kept that in the back of my mind, and I have found that to be very useful advice in most, not all, but most situations of being sad in a situational case. It does help to learn something new. So, I went into knitting with that in mind, and we got some needles. I think we went to Michael's, we got some needles and some yarn, and I got right to it, and I picked it up pretty quickly, and pretty soon had a very malshapen scarf. They kind of went with all of the accidental increases and decreases that I did along the way. But pretty soon, I was good at it, good enough at it. My stitches were even, the tension was decent, etc., etc. But all I ever made for the first few years were rectangular things like scarves or circular things like baby blankets. I didn't ever venture early on into things like sweaters and hats and socks and three-dimensional things. So, I don't know why I did it. I guess I thought at the time that it was too hard and I couldn't figure it out, and so I just stuck with what I knew. And then I got bored with what I knew, and I put it down for a while, and my yarn and needles sat there for a long time, a couple of years untouched, until 2019, when I don't know, just saw it sitting in a corner, thought, oh, I should pick that up again. And I did. I walked after school one day to Pearl Soho, the famous yarn store in New York, which I think is still temporarily closed. I wish they weren't, because I love walking there, but I guess maybe they found it's a better business model for them to just have things online, but c'est la vie. But it was open at the time. You could walk to it, and I did. And I got some golden yellow yarn. I did not have a project in mind. I just liked the yarn, so I bought it. And then I came home and I found a project. I was going to start making a feather and fan scarf. So still a scarf, but with a slightly more complicated pattern than what I had done previously. So that was, leveling up. Well, then I booked a trip to Paris for 2 months later, actually, and found out after I booked it that a colleague and friend of mine was going. So I said, you know what? I'm going to make this scarf for you, and you can wear it in Paris. And I did, and she did, and it was the talk of the town. Everybody commented on that scarf. Okay, not really, but in my head, all the Parisians thought it was very, very excellent. And probably some did. So anyway, that rekindled my love of knitting. And then, that was February 2020. Now, do the math in your head. What happened right after that? So, we went into lockdown. Schools were closed. I was home for a very long time, as I'm sure most of you were too. And probably like many of you, spent a lot of time knitting away, because what else was there to do for the rest of 2020 and big chunks of 2021? So, that's when I started to venture out into things like sweaters, socks, hats, all the things that I hadn't made before, and I loved it. Nowadays, I find that the more complicated something is, the more I want to do it, and the more excited it gets me. So I continue to level up, and which is not to say that I'm expert or master at anything yet, or even able to take what I know and design. Maybe I can, but I need a little more encouragement there. But that is my knitting story, and it will continue on for years to come, I hope. And that's that. So like I said, next time I will show you some finished objects and some works in progress and talk about those a little bit. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you would like to know, anything you want me to talk about, any questions you have for me. Also, any suggestions, because I've never done this before. I don't really know how to do a podcast regularly. So if you have any advice on that as well, cameras I should get, technology I should look into, etc., etc., I am very open to any advice that anyone has. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for making it to the end. I will see you next time.